Why are we here? How did we get here? Does our very existence show that God exists? The Cosmological Argument, Part 1. The Argument. Welcome to Into the Desert, exploring the wilderness of ideas. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and become a fellow adventurer by supporting our channel's mission of encouraging discussion, not division, on Patreon. The link is in the description. The cosmological argument is one of the classic philosophical arguments for the existence of God. Over the years, it has taken many forms, and people have presented it in many ways. Still, the argument focuses on the reason for the existence in each case. How did we get here? Why does the universe exist? The starting point for this argument is that the universe does exist. While philosophers may debate the nature of this existence, few would seriously challenge that it does. Any part of the universe will do for the cosmological argument, so we will use a pear for this illustration. The questions we seek to answer is, how did the pear come to be here? Or more simply, why does the pear exist? There are 5 possible answers to this question. The pear could be an illusion. The pear could be eternal. The pear could be self-created. The pear could be a part of an infinite series of events. The pear could be a part of a finite series of events. The first 3 possibilities, that the pear is either an illusion, that it is eternal, or that it was self-created, can quickly be eliminated. If the pear was simply an illusion, implying that nothing exists, the question becomes who or what is experiencing the illusion. If at least the illusion exists, then we can apply the cosmological argument to the illusion itself. As for the pear creating itself, if one considers the implication of self-creation, one will quickly realize that it is not only impossible but illogical. Self-creation would require that the pear affect itself before it existed. In other words, it would need an effect to be completed before there was a cause. While some of the findings of quantum mechanics makes this a far more complicated issue in the subatomic realm, they do not fundamentally change this argument, particularly at the level of a pear. As for the pear being eternal, you can leave one on your counter for a few weeks to see this problem. The pear must be stable and unchanging, immune to outside forces if eternal. Since the pear changes, as scientists tell us everything in the natural universe does, it is not eternal. When it changes, it will no longer exist in its prior form, and it will now be in a new form. Thus we conclude the pear is part of a chain of events, a series of causes and effects that have resulted in the pear. This conclusion is not that surprising. After all, the pear came from a pear tree, which grew from a seed. The seed was once in an earlier pear, which came from an earlier tree, and so on. So the question remains is whether this chain of events is infinitely long or has a beginning. The concept of a finite series of causes and effects is logically consistent. To see this, consider 100 dominoes set up in a line, so as the one domino falls, it strikes the next one, which falls and hits the next one, and so on. If we push the first domino, we start a finite chain of causes and effects that end when domino number 100 falls. On the other hand, the concept of an infinite series of causes and effects is logically flawed. Consider our row of dominoes again, except now it extends to infinity. There is no beginning, no first domino. For a given domino in the line, let's call it domino n, we can ask the following question: will it ever fall? Before domino n can fall, all the dominoes in the sequence before it must fall. In the finite series of 100 dominoes mentioned above, dominoes 1 through 99 must fall before reaching the domino. In an endless number of dominoes must fall for an infinite sequence before reaching domino n. At first, you might think that there is no problem, for there would be infinite time. Yet, this comes from a misconception about infinity. An infinite number of dominoes will never finish falling, even if given an endless amount of time, that is, forever. No matter how many dominoes have already fallen, there will always be an infinite number remaining to fall before reaching domino n. For domino n to fall would require the completion of an endless sequence, something which, by definition, is impossible. Something endless cannot end. Applying this to our pair, if part of an infinite sequence of events, it would never exist, since the events that must precede it would never be completed. Since it does exist, it cannot be the result of an infinite series. So our pair and the universe result from a finite sequence of causes and effects. As a finite series, there must have been a first cause, just as there must be the first domino in a finite number of dominoes. Next time, we will look at some objections to the cosmological argument. What do you think? Do you find the cosmological argument a good one? Do you disagree? Tell us why in the comments. We do read the comments and often post replies. If you made it this far in the video, consider watching one of our other videos and supporting our channel on Patreon. Thank you again for watching Into the Desert, exploring the wilderness of ideas. And to our fellow adventurers, a special thank you for helping to support this channel.